people. What are we doing today? Let's go, Jared. That's right, buddy. We're cheering you on. Okay, buddy? We're cheering you on. We're going to be right there with you when you get to the Olympics. We're going to go. All right? Get a hot dog. Get an Olympic cap. Watch you win a gold medal. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Well, hell, people. Welcome. Welcome. What day is it? I don't even know sometimes. But we're getting our paper wet today, aren't we? All right. How are you doing? Let's check in. Did you guys have a good Sunday fun day? Did you do anything crazy? Did you do anything wild? Did you check out my bacon grease salad? Wasn't that fun? That was a lot of fun. That was pretty crazy. Love that bacon grease salad. Well, actually, it's called a wilted lettuce salad. You know, sounds like the ravens are flying over. I don't know if you guys can hear that. They got a helicopter this time. Them ravens, they do all kinds of crazy stuff, man. All right. Well, how are you doing today? Check in with yourself. How's that internal locus of control? Is it still intact? How's that fire? You got it stoked? How's that critical eye? You got him in the hole? How's that schedule? You got it aligned? Check in with yourself every day on that kind of stuff, people. Keep yourself on track. You don't want to be like a ship that just gets way off track and ends up, I don't know, in Antarctica when you're trying to go to Hawaii. That'd be crazy. There ain't no pineapples in Antarctica. Jeez. So keep that going, okay? Check in with yourself. You're the only one who's going to do it at first. You do it more and more, other people will start doing it too. That's the crazy thing about this life, right? You want things to start going, you got to be the first one to reach out, to jump, to start the momentum so it starts to roll, okay? Until it finally takes on, you know, a life of its own, momentum of its own, and it pulls you along with it. It ends up going faster than you're going, and then all of a sudden, guess what? You're riding that wave. You know what I mean? You're riding that wave. You're right up there surfing on it. And then all of a sudden, life's fun. Life's enjoyable, okay? So be the first one to step out, to be excited about it, to get yourself in line. You know what I mean, people? Get yourself in line. Get that genuine desire. That's what we're trying to produce here. Build your life around whatever it is that you have genuine desire about. Maybe it's cookies. Maybe you want to be a baker. Maybe it's cocaine, and you're going to go down south, and you're going to start a little cocaine mill. Or maybe you're a writer and you like to write about the idea that you're going to go down south and start a cocaine mill, and you're going to put it into a comic book, or you're going to make a movie out of it, or you're going to write a song about it. I tell you, yesterday we talked to Dr. Till. He does the Ministry of the Dude. I don't know if you guys ever watched that. It's on YouTube. Go check it out if you hadn't. That is one talented fella right there. We were talking the whole time, and then towards the end he goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, I can play the instruments." I said, "Oh yeah, which one?" He said, "All of them." I said, "Well, damn, how about that?" And I said, "Well, would you write any songs?" He said, "Oh yeah, all kinds of songs. I haven't really listened to them in maybe 3 or 4 years, but I'll dig a few up for you and send it over." So he did. And I'll tell you what, they were fantastic. They're classic rock blues songs, man. They sounded great. So if you got that sparkle inside of you, shine it up, show it off. Let's try to make it work for you, you know, because you ain't going to do a day of work in your life if you do what you love. And you're meant to do what you love, people. You're meant to do what you love, to do what excites you, to do what you can't wait to get up in the morning and get better at it and get it out there and get on to the next one. And you only get good at the things that you love, and you get great at the things that you obsess over. So if you love something, then it turns into an obsession. You become a master. That's how it works. That's how it works right there. You cannot become a master of something that you're obligated to do. Okay? If you're carrying all that weight from obligation, you're going to burn out. The love ain't there to carry you through with it. You see what I mean, people? So you got to foster that genuine desire. You got to build your life around it. And if your life ain't built around it right now and you're just humping it, try to put together a plan so that you can bring some of those things that really light your fire, really fuel and stoke your passion back into your life so that you can have a more fulfilling life. And you'll thank me for it. Well, you don't thank me, you know. Somebody else did it for me, and I'm paying it forward by doing it for y'all. Okay? I'm paying that man back who helped me out. All right, all the way across the ocean, helped me out. Didn't even know me. Took me into his home, took care of me, got his people to take care of me all the way over there in Taiwan. Can you believe that? First time I ever been to Asia. Step off the plane, 2 o'clock in the morning in Taiwan, not knowing if there's going to be a ride for me at the international airport. All right, you walking through that airport, and all I saw was them Chinese words. You know what I'm saying? I can't read no lick of Chinese, and I'm walking through hoping that my plane that was delayed by 3 or 4 hours. I hope the guy was still there waiting for me. And when I came out of the tunnel, I saw a little Chinese fella holding up a sign that said Ray. And I tell you what, the relief was overwhelming. Okay? But you never know where your genuine desire is going to take you. You never know where your passion is going to take you. I never thought I'd go to Taiwan. I had no idea about it, you know? Hell, the only thing I knew about Taiwan was them little action figures that I used to get when I was a kid, you know? Some of them were made in Taiwan, and I'd be like, whoa, Taiwan, where's that? But then I'd go ahead and play, not knowing for a minute that one day in my life I'd be there for 2 years. I had no idea. But then it happened. Your genuine desire takes you there. Now, I'll tell you that story one of these days. Not right now. We got to get into this because we got to keep this short, or else James is going to get on me. You know, he likes it short, doesn't like them long. I know some women like them long. Most do, right? So we try to please everybody right here. I'm just playing. We just try to keep it short so that you can get on with your day and have a productive day. And we can get right to the point here. Ain't nothing make me madder than getting into a YouTube or a video and that motherfucker teases the whole thing out until the very end. And I'm sitting there, you know, like feeling like I've been kidnapped or something. And I'm locked down waiting for him to get to the damn point. Get to the damn point. So we ain't doing that around here. We get to the point right up front. Okay? And then get her out so you can get along on your way. All right, people? Now, today, we're going to talk a little bit about texture. Okay? Now, I was scrolling through my feed and I saw Sue Howells. I don't know if you know her or seen her work, but she's a watercolor artist. She's fantastic. Okay? And the texture that she uses is super inspiring. Very, it just gets you all excited. And so I thought, hey, we might as well talk a little bit about texture. We did color yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about texture today. Now, watercolor texture is one of the big reasons why people pick watercolor, because you can make so many different crazy ass textures with it. Okay, you can use your toilet paper, which we're going to use today. You can use your squirt bottle. Okay, you can use just a old plastic bag that I got at the grocery store. All right, then you can use some salt. This is just some salt that I got. Pulled it out. Ain't nothing special about this salt. Now, I will tell you, the bigger salt does better. The bigger the kernel of salt, the better it does. This is just kind of fine salt. So, but that's good enough for a demonstration. Ain't nothing to scoff at now. This is that red man salt. Come on. Ain't the Himalaya salt. I don't go in for that. It don't have no flavor. Don't have no taste. But this salt right here, it'll do you right. Just a little bit. Do you right. All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to come on down here. Jump on down to camera 2 real quick. All right. Now we're going to take our squirt bottle and wake up our watercolors. Okay, people? Wake up our watercolors. Now you can go ahead and put me up in that corner now. You remember how to do that. Now check this out. Now I already have my page laid out with my 6 squares, and we're going to take advantage of these ones right here too. We got the 3 other ones. And now we got 9 total squares. Okay? Now, I already taped it out. Y'all know how to do that. Go ahead and get her done. Okay? Now, I do have my palette right here, and I didn't clean it from last time, but no big deal. We're going to use some of that this time, okay? All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and take our large brush. We got it right here. Let's get her wet. Let's wake him up. He's been sleeping too long. Let's go ahead and get our medium brush. Now, you might be thinking, Ray, why'd you have me buy 3 brushes, big, medium, and small, if you never use that small brush? Well, don't worry. We haven't gotten to any details yet, people. We're still just kind of futzing around, trying to figure out the lay of the land on the watercolor, right? We're trying to understand our materials, figure out what the hell it is we got ourselves into, you know? It's kind of like you show up at a bar, and you're like, oh, I'm going to drink with you guys, and then all of a sudden they're drinking wild turkey, and before you know it, you're 2 shots in, and they're still going, and you're like, what the hell have I gotten myself into? Well, come along for the ride. Be a little wild. Be a little turkey, all right? Now, we're just going to go ahead and grab some of this water, some of this watercolor, and we're just going to put down, it doesn't even matter what color you use. Now, remember what I said about when you're doing these experiments. You got to do them. You got to do the experiments, but limit the variables to one. Change only one variable so you can understand. Okay. Now I'm just going to use one color real quick. Okay. And we're going to put down a wash just like that. Okay. Gonna really saturate it up. Get it going right there. Get it going. Boom, 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 boom. All right. And we're happy about that. Now, take your toilet paper, the very first one that we're going to do, and crinkle it up into a ball like this. Crinkle it up into a ball. Crinkle it up into a ball like this. And then just go ahead and dab lightly on your watercolor paper. And would you look at that? Just makes a nice little texture. Okay? Now, that texture can be used as foliage for trees. They can be used as bushes. It could be used as whatever you want, but look how nice that looks. There's some nice looking foliage right there. And you can dab as you want. Keep dabbing. Keep dabbing. All right, so that's one variable, right? Now, if we wanted to make it two variables, people, we would add another color or another layer of wash. But right now, we're only going to do one. We're going to keep it simple. Keep it simple so you guys can grasp it. All right? Don't think that just because I talk to you right now and you're like, oh, okay, Ray, all you got to do is get some toilet paper up, wad it up, and tab it on there. I got it. I got it. Well, it's deceptive because you don't got it. You got to make yourself like 5 or 6 of these pages and give it a go until you really got it. Until you really understand the nuances of what you're doing, the little variables of what you're doing. So, practice, people. These experiments are for you. However much you want to put in is how much you're going to get out. Okay? So put a lot in, get a lot out. Let's go. All right. So now we're just going to go ahead. Going to go over here with some magenta. Maybe I'm going to lighten it up with some red. Let's get some of that red in there. Okay? Some of that alizarin red. Yeah. Okay. That's a nice red right there. All right. So we're going to come back over to this other square. Ooh, yeah. That's nice and dark. How about that? You like that? All right. So we'll let that chill for a second. I don't know if you guys can see that real quick. We'll let that chill for a minute. How good does that look? All right. Now we'll just take a little bit of this pinch of salt, and we'll just go ahead and drop some of the salt right there in the water. Now the salt depends on how much water is available. So you might want to take your water bottle and just, you can squirt it a tad, or you could take your brush and you can just drop some water on it like so. Okay. Now the only thing about the salt is you gotta let that dry. So we're gonna move on to something else. Okay, while we let that dry. All right, we're gonna come up here. I think maybe we'll get some blue. We'll get some of this aqua blue. So go ahead and take some of the blue. Now you might be thinking, Ray, when are we gonna get to painting pictures? And I'm saying soon, buddy. You gotta understand how your bricks work before you can build a house now. And we're learning how our bricks work right here. Okay? Well, you want to go ahead and build your house with some funky ass bricks? You don't want that. That's no fun. Okay? All right. So we got this guy right here. Look how nice that looks. That's a nice looking wash. Now you can already see that it's starting to texture up with that watercolor, how it's putting the pigment in the fibers of the paper, and that's a lot of fun. Okay? Now, on this one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take another color. Since that's a blue, that's an aqua, let's go ahead and take a darker blue. The darkest blue I got, French Ultramarine. It's up here at the top. Take that blue. Now this is where the fun comes in, because we're just going to go ahead and we're going to splatter. Hope I don't get this in on the camera. Splatter. And you can splatter the other one a little bit too. Why not? Who cares? Okay? Now look at that. Check that out. Now that's a fun texture, and when it dries, it's going to do something crazy. So just wait and watch, okay? Now, I'm going to take that exact same color blue, okay? Now I'm going to paint one of these little squares right here, okay? Because I want to show you something else about what I'm about to do here. Paint these little squares. Now get her nice and dark. All right, she's nice and dark. Okay. Now I'm going to take this little bag right here, I'm going to rip off a part of it. Now, you don't have to rip off a part of it. Now, the reason I'm ripping off a part of it is because I need it to sit still for a minute, and I'm going to move around. And you just take the bag. See the bag right there? Check that out. Just take the bag, and you just put her down on there, on the wetness, and let it dry. Just let it dry. Don't move it around, people. Just let it dry, okay? So now we got the salt drying. Now, you can already see the salt starting to work. See around the salt crystals? How it's starting to beat up. It looks a little bit like snowflakes or a fractal around the salt crystals. Now remember, the bigger the crystal, the better the effect. I just grabbed the small table salt. Get kosher salt or even that road salt with the big old crystals, and you'll have some really cool effects going on. Okay? Then we got this guy down here. He's drying. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next guy. Let's go ahead and grab some more of this red. Now I like to use like red, the really strong colors to show this off, high pigment colors, because it really shows off the effect nicely. Okay, shows off the effect nicely. How about that? All right, now on this one, I wanted to show what happens if you just take regular water, just a clean brush of water, and go ahead and put it in there. Look at that. See how it pushes the watercolor away? Now it works a little bit better if it's a little bit more dry. If it's if the watercolor paper isn't as wet. But look how it's just creating these cool textures as it runs down the page. Okay? Now we'll go ahead and let that dry. Okay, so now let me just absorb this extra water at the bottom so it doesn't create a mess. Those are called the beads. That's the bead of water at the bottom. Okay, people? Now, if you want to, you can go in and add a second variable, which is another, you go ahead and another color and you just throw it down on there, like splatter it. That's a lot of fun. Okay? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 textures. Okay, people? Then you have the dry brush texture. So you leave, let's go ahead and go with this square right here. You leave it completely dry. Let me grab some of this darker gray and just go over it really fast. Now look at the texture that makes. Okay, then you let that dry. Okay, so that's another texture that you can make. Now I'm going to go ahead and up the variable over here. Okay, people, I'm going to put 2 or 3 of these together. Okay, if you can see that the square right here. Okay, so let me go ahead and get some of this red first. I'm going with that alizarin crimson. I think that's how you say it. Go ahead and put it in there so y'all can see it. Okay, I'm going to go back to my my toilet paper or paper towel, whatever you got, and I'm just going to dab it off. Okay, now look at how cool that texture looks right there. It looks very strong. Okay, but check this out now. Now I'm going to come in there and add another variable. Okay, I'm going to take my medium brush because it's not going to have as much water, and I got to keep it the moisture management on this third one down here. I got to be careful with that, with this little thing I'm about to do. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab turquoise. Okay, so I'll load my brush up with turquoise. So I got my brush loaded up with turquoise right there, and I'm just going to splatter it. Now look how cool that is. So what we're using there is we have 2 layers. Okay, people, we have the first layer of the red. We use the texture of the toilet paper crunched up, and then we threw down some splatter of the blue. Now the other thing that we did is we used a little bit of our color theory, and we used a hot red or a warm color, and then we used a cool color on top of it. So that creates that contrast. Now the key to artwork is contrast. You always want to have that contrast. Okay, so let's go back up here and look at what we got. We got our toilet paper one. We got the salt one that's starting to work. You can see it. But I ain't going to hold y'all around here until it dries, okay? Then we got our splatter over here, okay? Then we have our bag. Let's see how well this guy did. Oh yeah, he did nice. Now, the longer it dries, the better that effect will become. But I removed it a little bit early because, hey, we got to get going, people. Come on now, right? Then we have just the wet on wet wash that we let the gravity pull down the the clean water. We use clean water right here in this one. Look what it did. Then we used the dry brush. Look how cool that is. And then we used a 2-layer with the toilet paper and the splatter on top of this one. Now that's all you got to do, people. I basically go to town and experiment in your notebook, okay? Your sketchbook. Now how do you know if you didn't do a good job? Well, you know you didn't do a good job if it looks like just like a watery mess, okay? If you can't see any texture. If you get some good results of texture, you did a great job. If you're going to try and add multiple layers of color, remember that rule: 75%, 20%, 5%. If you add 75% color and then 75% color on top of that, you're going to get gray. It's gonna cancel itself out and make a turd. Don't be making turds. Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna make some turds, but it's okay. Just get them out the way and move on to the next one. It's like trying to kiss a girl at the bar, right? You kiss a few ugly ones so that you can get the hot ones jealous. Then they come over and now you're happy, right? Let's do that, okay? So let's go ahead. Let's get out there. Get your salt. Get your spray bottle. We'll talk about more types of texture next time. But I just wanted to get in a little intro so you could get your, lips wet a little bit. Dip your toes in the pool. So let's get after it. Come on now.